Do you remember when Rishi Sunak was banging on about maths?
The few countries not to require our children to study some form of maths up to the age of 18.
Well, with new scandalous revelations about RAC, the concrete that looks like an Aero chocolate bar, which has been used in schools, coming to light, we want you to be reminded of what he said last week, because we'll be doing some maths shortly.
The Permanent Secretary at the Department for Education has said this morning that when they wanted to put more money into repairing schools, you as Chancellor didn't allow that to go ahead and in fact cut that budget. Are you to blame for what's happening now? And do you want to apologise to parents and pupils?
I think that is completely and utterly wrong. Actually, one of the first things I did as Chancellor in my first spending review in 2020 was to announce a new 10-year school rebuilding programme for 500 schools. Now, that equates to about 50 schools a year that will be refurbished or rebuilt. And if you look at what we've been doing over the previous decade, that's completely in line with what we've always done, about 50 or so schools a year refurbished or rebuilt. That's what I announced as Chancellor in my first spending review.
So I'm not sure about you, but say for example, if I heard that 400 madmen were roaming the streets threatening people with knives, I'd want them to all be dealt with on the same day and not be arrested over the period of 10 years through a devised programme. But of course it gets worse, because it turns out that over the last 2 years, only 4 schools instead of 50 have been rebuilt. So that being the case, let's do some maths. So 400 schools, 2 a year, so 400 divided by 2 equals 200. That's 200 years. And take off the 2 years for the 4 schools already done, 198 years. Which will mean those 400 schools will be completed in the year 2221. Click here for Gillian Keegan losing her shit.